G'day everyone, Tim from vMix here, and in this video today we're talking about laptops for vMix in 2021-ish, around 2021 or 2022, around there. Now we're currently recommending Intel i7 or i9 11th gen processors and the 5000 series AMD laptops, both with NVIDIA 3060 GPUs. If you want to know more, stick around. Now we test heaps of equipment here at vMix, so you don't have to. We build computers, test capture cards, graphics cards, controllers, audio gear, cameras, and of course, laptops, or we wouldn't be here today talking about them. Now we have a page on our website dedicated to computers and laptops that we recommend for vMix. So check out the vMix reference systems page, or just go to vmixpc.com and you'll be redirected there automatically. On that page, you'll see the Sapphire reference system, which is what we call our recommended laptops. Now, I say this every single time I make one of these videos, but it seems to be getting worse. Laptop availability is fluctuating an incredible amount, and it probably will continue to do so. In the past pandemic year, we've seen so many people needing a laptop to work from home or do schooling from home, and then you combine that with shortages in silicon and a worldwide GPU bull rush. Laptops have become a really hot commodity and super hard to get your hands on. Now, we understand that the laptops that we recommend may not be available where you are, but you can use our recommended feature set to purchase something very similar. Firstly, we'll take a look at an Intel laptop that allows you to do productions with Thunderbolt capture devices. So by Thunderbolt capture, I mean things like the AJA IO 4K, or Thunderbolt enclosures that you can install your own capture card to and then connect to your computer via Thunderbolt. Now, the laptop that I'm talking about here is the MSI GS76 Stealth. It's using an 8-core Intel i7 11800H processor, NVIDIA RTX 3060 graphics card, 16GB of RAM, Thunderbolt 4, and it has a 1TB NVMe hard drive. Now, I like this one here because it's a 17-inch laptop, but it's only full HD. I'm not a fan of using higher res monitors for vMix, as I don't like to scale the screen. I don't like using my glasses, and by having a lower resolution screen, there's going to be less processing. This screen also has a 240Hz screen by default, but I've dropped mine back to 60Hz in the NVIDIA settings to save on processing as well. Now, the only real issue that I do have with this laptop is it only has 2 USB-A ports, like the old school ones. It does have a USB-C port and a Thunderbolt port, but I'd probably like an additional USB-A port as well. So when you're buying a laptop, these are the tiny things that you need to make sure that you keep an eye out for. So if you've watched any of our videos where we've talked about laptops in the past, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, here comes the part where Tim tries to explain G-Sync. Over the years, we have recommended G-Sync laptops because that's a really good indicator that your laptop is going to be using your graphics card for your display directly. Many laptops attempt to conserve power by routing your display via the integrated graphics instead of your powerful dedicated graphics card. Now, this is done with a utility typically called Optimus, and G-Sync display laptops either don't have Optimus enabled or you can turn it off. So it's important to be able to bypass Optimus for the best vMix experience. You'll see smooth video on your displays for your live input previews and for high frame rate content, and it will also give you the smoothest video playback for your full screen outputs. Now, in saying that, this laptop is not G-Sync. Cue shocked music. Yes, this is shocking. Now, I am shocked as well, so don't worry. This MSI laptop itself has the ability to turn on the discrete graphics card instead of using the integrated graphics. And this is done through the MSI Center. So it has a little app, so you can go onto the computer and then you can go to the MSI Center and you can go into this GPU switch area and change it to use the discrete graphics card, which is a really great option if you have it available to you. Now, if you can still find a G-Sync laptop, that's great. You're going to get awesome performance with vMix. But when I searched for laptops, there was a lot that I couldn't find with G-Sync, or you had to pay extra for a G-Sync panel. So yeah, we've decided to go with this MSI because we can actually turn it off. If you did want to buy our previously recommended laptops like the Alienwares, you would need to go through and you can purchase an additional upgrade to have a G-Sync monitor with those. So the X15 or the M15, the latest versions with the G-Sync display upgrade. Now, a laptop like this will allow you to do a pretty awesome production. You can produce, record, and stream a 4-camera full HD production without any problems. Now, on this laptop, I've loaded up a crazy production with multiple video files playing back, a title, multiple NDI sources, and heaps of 4K video files. Now, I'm not playing these files back, but I've actually just added them to the production to show off one of the RTX 3060 graphics card's features. These graphics cards support resizable bar support, which is an awesome new feature that gives vMix access to all of the GPU memory on the card. Previously, vMix only had access to a small amount of cache memory on the GPU, so that's what the GPU mem refers to at the bottom of vMix in a percentage. So these GPUs have resizable bar support, which gives us access to all of the memory and improves performance and efficiency. Unfortunately, there's no current way to measure this additional memory, so although we're at 100% GPU memory on this laptop, we're actually using heaps more memory. Now you can see that my CPU is still fine. If I was out of GPU memory, then the CPU usage would increase. Now you can find out more information about resizable bar support in the description links. So that's why I've added all of these 4K video files in the production to show you how resizable bar support would work. Now, on a typical production, you're not even going to hit this small amount of GPU mem down the bottom anyway. You can see that I've got 4 HD cameras via the AJA IO 4K, and I'm also recording the production 2 ways. I'm using the MP4 to record the program output on the graphics card using the hardware encoder, but I'm also using the CPU to record a vMix AVI of the desktop to create a really high quality recording for this tutorial. Now, I'm also live streaming in 1086 megabit out to Facebook at the same time. Listen to me when I say I would not recommend doing this. I just want to show you some of the capabilities of this laptop and let you know that it will give you a very, very rock solid, just basic 4 HD with titles and videos and images and that sort of thing. So it's going to be rock solid for a great production. Now, if you can't find this particular model, then you're going to be looking for a laptop with an Intel 11th Gen i7 11800H or better, RTX 3060 GPU, G-Sync, and Thunderbolt 4. Usually the next gen CPUs and GPUs work the same, so check out our website if we've updated the laptops or not. Now, one thing that you want to keep in mind that is if you want to use Thunderbolt, make sure that your laptop supports Thunderbolt. I know that sounds crazy and I say it every video, but just because it has a USB-C port doesn't mean that it's Thunderbolt. Check the manufacturer's website if you have any doubt at all. Now, if the laptop that you really want doesn't have G-Sync, you can also check the manufacturer to see if you have an app option that allows you to select the discrete graphics card like we have with this MSI. If you are looking for a more powerful Intel laptop, you could look at an i9 CPU or rank up to a higher GPU like the 3070 or the 3080 as well. Now, you can also not use Thunderbolt with this if you don't want to. It's just that we've got that option, and you're going to be able to do a pretty awesome production with NDI and USB with this laptop as well if you wanted to go that route. Okay, so let's move on to option number 2. For those that are looking for a laptop to use USB and NDI capture on a budget, the AMD 5800H laptops are a good option. This one here is the Lenovo Legion 5 and has an 8-core AMD Ryzen 7 5800H processor, RTX 3060 GPU, 16GB RAM, 512GB SSD, and weirdly a G-Sync display. So this is going to allow you to do a multicam USB or NDI production with recording and streaming in full HD. As this doesn't have Thunderbolt, you'll be reliant on other external capture options. This could be USB 3 or perhaps NDI. Typically, USB options will give you 2 HD sources into a production due to bandwidth limitations. However, you could add some NDI converters and run a local network and bring in multiple NDI sources. Now, if you can't find this laptop, you'd be looking for a Ryzen 7 5800H processor or better, RTX 3060 GPU or better, 16GB RAM, 512 SSD, and a G-Sync display. Although a G-Sync display is less likely on an AMD machine, it's probably something that you can live without using this particular AMD machine and then using USB and NDI. Now again, if you wanted to level up your laptop, you could look at the 5900 series of processors and perhaps a beefier GPU. You can also find more budget-friendly Intel laptops that won't have Thunderbolt, so they'll be a little bit cheaper than the one that we recommend. So if you are on a budget, definitely wait for sales, or when a new model or a new chip is released, you'll be able to save a lot of cash. Now, in fact, I actually bought this Lenovo off eBay with a huge discount. So it was pretty cheap, but then it was even cheaper off eBay with the discount. Now, if you aren't into that bragging life, then using previous generation Intel laptops might be an option. You've seen me recommend it before, but I still use a 7th gen i7 with a 1060 GPU, and it works totally fine still. Now, we use laptops a lot here at vMix, and this has been even more frequent with the pandemic and working from home. The great thing about them is that you can be working on a production at home and then take it onto your production site and be good to go. Now, we use them for our trade show booths where we can just plug in some NDI and USB sources, or perhaps the AJIO 4K, and showcase vMix. Laptops give you an inbuilt monitor. They have great processing power now with awesome CPUs and dedicated GPUs. Extra mobility, so you can just put it in a bag or throw it around if you need to, or chuck it on a bench. And vMix runs really well on laptops. All right, so there are a few things to keep in mind when using a laptop. So I'll link a guide in the description about some best practices. A couple of Tim's tips for you though. I need to workshop that name. You're definitely going to want to keep your laptop plugged into the power and not use the battery. Now, I can't say that enough. We get a lot of support requests with people saying, vMix is underpowered, it's not working on my laptop, and they don't have it plugged in, it's just trying to use the battery. Most laptops will decrease their performance when on the battery, so it's not good for doing live production. You'll also want to remove any kind of bloatware from the laptop. Weird audio features, weird apps, dodgy virus scanners can cause all kinds of problems, so you can get rid of them. Using the Windows Defender, the one that's built into Windows, is really good, so you don't need to worry about third-party virus scanners as well. Finally, you'll want to make sure that you set your NVIDIA settings and your computer power settings to prefer performance as well. So you want to be using you don't want to be saving power, you want to use all the power. Now, if you ever have any questions about laptop specifications, feel free to drop us an email via the support page on vmix.com. Now, if you include a link to the laptop that you're interested in, we can take a look at it and give you some feedback about what you might be able to do with it. Don't leave comments here on YouTube. Send us an email. Trust me, we get plenty of emails regarding laptops all the time, and we're able to let you know whether it's going to work well with vMix or not. Now, if you do want to keep up to date with all the latest laptop recommendations, you can check out the reference systems page on vmix.com if we update that or make any changes. Now, if I do have any final thoughts, it's that if you've already got a laptop and you want to try vMix out on it, definitely download our free 60-day trial of vMix Pro. Test it out. It might already be good enough for vMix and you won't have to buy a new one. If you're looking at buying a new laptop, don't forget to check out the sales, work out what kind of capture devices you're going to need, what kind of production you're going to be doing, and then kind of set your budget from there and see what you can work out. All right, so thanks for watching and we'll stream you later.
Congratulations on finishing a vMix YouTube video. Although it's just a few short minutes, the time we've spent together means a lot to us. If you'd like to spend some more quality time with us, feel free to subscribe to our channel. If you're into social media, look for vMix HD across all your favorite platforms.